Hello everybody, so just a quick video, some top tips on Mike Force, how to play, what it is, and just some things we picked up along the way. So first things first, let's have a look at the map. Basically, as you can see, the map takes place in what they call Cam Lo Nam, which is a sort of facsimile of Vietnam. If you've not played before, the red areas are held by VC and MVA forces, and the green areas are held by us. We obviously capture them one by one. Each sector has a number of sub-objectives in it, so there's artillery, anti-air, there's an HQ and so on, and each of those needs to be eliminated in order for the sector to be captured. Obviously, AA being a priority. If you want to be able to fly in the area, the dotted hashed red lines around the edge show the cover of the extent of the AA, and trust me, it can be fairly brutal. So the first thing to do is decide which role you want, whether you want to be a soldier, whether you want to have boots on the ground, whether you want to fly, or whether you want to assist with the building. I'm going to start with the ACAV, which is the assist with the building. Essentially, each sector you want to capture needs to have a FOB built, and the ACAV guys build that. You also then need to make sure you've gone to the officer here, you push 6, and you need to choose a trait. Now if you want to build, you need to have chosen this trait, and you can see it says training complete. So that means you can now build. Finally, you need to go to the arsenal and select the gear you want. There are a number of little tips and tricks here. Firstly, make sure if you're going to be building that you have selected the pistol section, if you like, and then selected shovel. If you haven't got a shovel, you can't build anything. Next, little tips here. While you're getting geared up, body armor. There's not a lot of body armor in Vietnam, but the aircrew vest, the top one, does provide some good ballistic protection. So I always wear that. It hasn't got a lot of carrying capacity, but it does have the protection that it has, ballistic protection, like I say, and explosive resistant, which is really, really useful. Next, get yourself a backpack, fairly standard stuff. I tend to go for the MG because it's quite big. Choose your weapon of choice. Mine is generally the M14. I've got friends I play with who swear by the AK copy, which I forget what the actual name of it is, but yeah, the Type 56. A lot of people use that because it is easy to rearm. There's lots of ammo around for it, and it's pretty accurate. Personally, I prefer to use the 14 because that gives me a chance to operate it with a more snipering kind of role, which when you're building is often quite useful to be able to pick people off from range. So M14, get a sniper sight on board and probably a suppressor. It's useful when you're creeping up on them. Let's also gear up with some mags. I don't take a lot of flares because you don't need a lot of flares generally, except at night time. Get some mags. Now, next top tip: make sure you're carrying plenty of first aid gear. So you want to be carrying about 10 to 12 first aid kits. Watch out as well, sometimes you'll end up with respawning with an M1. Quite often it leaves you with 12 rounds of M1 in there, which you don't want, so you have to remove them. So we were saying, make sure you've got at least 10 first aid kits. You need 4 to withstand, which is to get yourself back up after you've been shot. As ACAV, I tend to carry breaching charges, which are quite lightweight but very effective against anti-air positions and so on. I generally carry a couple of Molotovs simply because if it gets dark suddenly, they act as quite a useful way of lighting up the world. Okay, and finally, it's really useful to carry oranges. If you play this game for long enough, you will get bitten by a snake. What tends to happen is you get bitten by a snake. Can be really, really often, can be hardly at all. But you can carry a lot of oranges, which top up both your food and your water. And they're quite effective against if you've been bitten by a snake. As for the rest of it, you can choose your own. Okay, so we've geared up, we've chosen our role, we've come to here, we've said we're going to be ACAV, we've come to here, we've said we're going to be a builder, so we've done that as well. So all we need to do now is get into the zone. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose where we want to go. I'm going to choose the main airport. There you go, it's spawned at the main airport. Now, whilst I'm not qualified, when you're ACAV, you cannot fly from the pilot seat most of the helicopters. You can fly the Cayuse over there, you can find the cases, like the little birds from the co-pilot seat on some servers. Final little tip is to, if you're ACAV, you're going to want to be able to build things at all times, and what you need to be able to build things is building supplies. So if you're ACAVing, it's a good idea to come to this chap here and ask for some sandbags, which you'll spawn over there. If you load your backpack with sandbags, it means that later on when you come to building, you can at least maintain your forward operating base for a period of time, because basically a forward operating base requires fuel, if you like, and the fuel is that in form of sandbags or large building containers. So if you've got sandbags on board, you can then at least fuel up your fob briefly. So I've managed to chuck a whole bunch in there, which will be a good start. Okay, good. So as ACAV, you can drive certain vehicles, one of which is the lorry. So with the lorry, you can load into it various gear. So I'm going to ask this chap to give me a large building container, which he has done, hopefully. There we go. I'm going to load that in the back of here, and that will give me plenty of supplies for my fob when I get there. Load it in the vehicle. Job done. Okay, let's go and get into some trouble.
Hold still, man. I'll give you something for the pain.
Wait, this is bad. Let's see the other guy.
Okay, so we've reached our objective. Taking a bit of fire. What we're going to do is quickly get the fob up and running. What's a really good idea to do is collect together in a favourites menu things you like to regularly use. I'm going to get to this. So this is one of my favourite little barriers. It's most people's, to be honest. So, put that at a funny angle now. Okay, so a few things built. One of the most important things to build is the checkpoint. That means people can see this and they can spawn in. Now, in order to actually build all this stuff, you need to get your scratch shovel out. You basically need to whack it with your shovel. Go in the middle, and you can see there it says 20% built, 40% built, and so on. So you just keep whacking it with your shovel until it's built. And what that means, once it has been supplied, which I'm going to do now, hold 6. I'm going to supply it with sandbags for the minute, just to get it up and running. It means other people will be able to see that and spawn in here. They get killed, which is good. Nope, matey's down again, so let's go and revive him.
Sir Charles is his shit together today. I need Snake and Nate.
So
all you got.
You can resuscitate yourself, but you need 4 medkits, whereas it only takes 1 to lift somebody up like this. It's a good idea to keep lifting up your teammates. The other thing you need is a situation room, which I'm going to build now. And that basically allows you to keep the fob fully supplied. Air support's coming in. Oh, there we go, bitten by a snake. So if you did get bitten by a snake, you'll hear that. You can see my food and my water have gone. So I'm just going to go in my inventory. I'm going to eat a couple of oranges, and that will hopefully fix me up enough to do the next bit. At some point, I think they plan to have anti-venom in this game, but at the moment, I don't think it works. It may work since the last update. I haven't actually tried it, to be honest, because oranges take up so little space. And they work beautifully well. So I'm just going to temporarily resupply this fob. You can see that at the moment, if you see at the bottom there, it says time until decay 23 minutes. So if I temporarily resupply it with some sandbags that I brought with me. We've got 57 minutes, over an hour, hour and 40 minutes. So let's make this fob enormously more complicated. It won't use up more supplies. Obviously, the bigger the fob, the more supplies it uses. Later in game, you might want to build a repair station for helicopters and stuff because they'll be a long way from the base. There's a lot of Charlie. Contact down the road, crossing the road now.
Stay awake, man. Talk to me, okay?
Sometimes you need to move your casualties away from
Got
the
me in
combat.
ass, man, the fucking ass.
Oh, shit, I'm taking fire.
They're coming to take me alive. I got a frag that says different.
I need to plug that artery. Otherwise, he ain't gonna make it.
ARMA to the rescue again.
So you can see that by reviving that guy, I've already used up, I've only got 4 bags left. So one of the top tips when you get a chance is to make sure you pick up medkits off the bad guys. See, this is brilliant. After he's thrown that, one of the best things to do if you're a pilot is make sure you bring supplies and people to the fob. So he's brought another supply box. Oh, he's there. Jesus. Frag out. Yeah, I was saying one of the most important things to do if you're flying is to make sure you keep the fob resupplied, so you bring in supply boxes. Basically, if you're coming forward at any point, definitely bring a supply box. You'll find that the team members will really appreciate that. Let's hope this one doesn't go flying into the middle of nowhere. It hasn't. Brilliant. So once you've got a big supply box, you just go to the situation room, push 6, and you just use this thing here, which says resupply with a crate. And now you can see we've got 20 hours on this fob. So this fob will last forever now, basically. Oh, somebody's inside the wire. That happens. Yeah, good demonstration that you can shoot through the walls, well, through the wood. Go into the logistic infantry, grab the container, and just unload the item. If you've ever played pretty much any other Arma mode, this won't be particularly unfamiliar to you. Brilliantly, I've built this so I can't get back. Let's just drop that in there. Oh! The joy of Arma physics. Where the hell's that box gone? Oh, for God's sake. So the box has gone all over there. That's brilliant.